backstage at the Hi-Fi Bar and Ballroom in the beautiful city of Melbourne with possibly the hardest working band in the universe right now from New Jersey in the States. Would you please welcome My Chemical Romance? Or possibly the tiredest band in the world. Gerard, when was the last time you actually slept 8 hours in a row?
Hey, no, it wasn't 8 hours. Liar. I slept 8 hours in a row. Maybe on the airplane on the way up.
Years ago.
That was in a row. That was like, I'm gonna die.
1998, maybe?
Maybe like 2 years ago.
Jiminy Crickets.
We got off sometimes, then we get to sleep for like 10 hours.
You guys are working very hard, touring. You're playing great rooms like this classic room, the Hi-Fi Bar and Ballroom in Melbourne. Also, freaking stadiums where we play a strange game called cricket. How's that all going?
It's amazing. I mean, you know, it's really great to be able to play clubs like this. You know, that's the best part. Like, you need to come back to these things, and you need to be able to stay grounded and feel that energy off a crowd. So we love this stuff more than, like, I think the big stuff.
What's it like, you know, or never stood on stage in one of those things when it's just like thousands of squillions?
It's crazy. You can't see the end of it, you know. You can really only see the first couple of rows.
That show that we just did was the biggest show ever for this band with Green Day at the cricket grounds.
I was very nervous. Like, as soon as I stepped on stage.
On stage at Wembley, you know?
It's like you're never truly ready for something like that. It's so many people, you know. We had fun, though. The crowd was so warm to us, so nice. It was our very first Australian show, and it was in front of, like, thousands. So
shit.
It's pretty awesome.
So I was lucky enough to see you guys back in July at an incredibly hot parking lot in Sacramento on the Vans Warp Tour. It was, and all I got from that experience was like, how the hell do you guys do this? Like every day in the 40-degree heat, or 130 in your words, and then, you know, stand in a car park and play in the blistering sun, then drive for 27 hours and do it again. What kind of lessons do you learn from touring like that?
Warped Tour is the kind of tour where you know going into it what to expect if you've done it before, and you know you're going to work really hard. You also got to let your body gets conditioned after a couple weeks, so it becomes like regular routine. We never had a situation where we were like, I think maybe in the first week where we were going to pass out. I think I kind of passed out once.
That Jersey show, I got really sick.
Yeah, that was a tough one, too. I mean,
is part of the show. Guys, we're going to get you some requests on in a moment, but I want to play some of your videos first. Can you tell us about, I want to play Helena first. Can you tell us about making this video?
Yeah, I think this was the hardest video we had to make. There was that one scene where we were holding that coffin in the rain, and we did that for like 3 or 4 hours, right? That was tough. That coffin was real heavy. I think we did more work on Not Okay. Helena was kind of weird because it was like we were involved in certain things and then other elements we weren't involved in, you know, as far as having to work. But there's like only 1 or 2 performance takes, I think.
Yeah. And the rest was just holding coffins?
Yeah, holding coffins.
Watching them dance.
All right for everything. This is Helena, My Chemical Romance. This is what you want. Back in a moment. Romance, who are touring Australia with Green Day at the moment and playing here at the Hi-Fi Bar and Ballroom. You guys are from New Jersey. All I know about New Jersey, I learned from a Bon Jovi record and Kevin Smith film. So can you take me
That's all you
through
really need to know, I think.
Yeah, that's about it.
That, and if you land at Newark Airport, you get that waft, that smell. And that's about it. That's Jersey.
It looks like Mad Max on the way in, too. It definitely does.
I'm stoked for one that you know what the film's all about. But what do you mean? What sort of smell are we talking?
Well, you know,
landfill.
there's like a landfill odor, a factory type odor.
Carbon monoxide.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, lots
Dead
of car
people.
fume, dead people, fume. It's we love it though.
Meadowlands.
You know, if you're born there, you love it. You go somewhere else, and it could be like a mountain and beautiful, and you're like, I really miss that dead body smell.
the dead body smell that reminds you of home. So delightfully. As I said, I was lucky enough to see you guys earlier in the year, and one thing that struck me straight away, and I did a little dance when I was like, crikey, those guys are up there pulling off metal riffs and people are dancing to it, and I was so stoked. How did you come to this point, being so metally yet still not so metally musically?
I don't know. Like, it's definitely like a feat to see people dancing to us. That didn't happen for a long time. I think it's because a lot of people digested the record, but there's a lot of metal going on in it, and it's weird to see people kind of dance to it. But you can. I don't know why.
It's we have a lot of different influences that shouldn't work together but do, and
Such as?
Well, like classical guitar meets metal meets old school punk rock meets some black metal meets Britpop type deal.
So, Ray, what would be some records that people would be surprised to know that you had?
Well, I think like the classical guitar music. I listened to Andres Segovia, Christopher Parkening, also like Jeff Beck, and so I think those are pretty.
Here I am
records that
thinking
I
you've been
wouldn't
listening to Yngwie, and I was all very excited for a moment.
I
But
don't think you like
No,
it,
I've
right?
actually never heard an Yngwie Malmsteen record ever.
Or something?
Yeah, I'm not a big fan. I'm not a big fan.
yeah, I interviewed him last week, and he said you guys were toast. No, not at all. But Bob, you're a big fan of
Hold on,
Rammstein.
I have an Yngwie story.
Yeah, I want to
I do.
hear. Yngwie Malmsteen is a bizarre Swedish
No,
metal
it's an
guitar player that has false hair and plays very, very quickly.
Wow.
Yngwie's story. I was a runner at the House of Blues where he was playing, and his wife, who was the tour manager, had me go get Aquanet hairspray, and I got the blue kind instead of the pink kind. No, their whole crew got fired. It was amazing. Dude freaked out. No, how are they gonna fire me? I just was like, all right, whatever. I got the wrong hairspray. Peace, and I left. But yeah, that's my story.
That's amazing.
You guys should bring
Yngwie.
that kind of discipline on the road. Keep everyone sharp. Get me the wrong hair product. It's over, buddy. We're leaving you in Brazil. So we want to play you a video. Bob, you're going to play yours first. You want Rammstein. Why?
I wish I knew what it was called. I saw it like a few times, and it's, I think, the coolest video ever, and it's very simple. And but they roll up in limos, and for some reason they have fat suits on, and they just kind of rock out in their suits.
Why do you like Rammstein so much?
I don't know, because it's good.
Detail
Yeah.
that band has. All their videos are amazing.
They're
really are.
simple, but very
They're
good.
Germans. They're precise.
What did you say it was called earlier? You made
I
up a
don't
name
know,
for
but
it.
it's got lots of noises in it.
Yes.
I like the one where they're climbing this mountain and then one dude falls and dies.
You made
I
up a
don't
name
know,
for
but
it.
it's got lots of noises in it.
Yes.
I like the one where they're climbing this mountain and then one dude falls and dies.
This one's better though.
And they go down and
I've
it's
never
really,
seen that one.
it's
though.
incredible.
I feel like yours.
Well, let's play this one.
Yeah. All right.
We'll play you a video in a moment. And possibly the most rocking room in all of Australia. Does it feel good to you, Gerard? Are you feeling good up there on stage?
I felt good. It's good stuff in here on that stage.
People are going to dance a lot tonight. People are going to dance very much indeed. The new record, Three Cheers for Sweet Revenge, is a heck of a listen. I've listened to it about a squillion times. But there's one song that really stands out for me. I was this morning. I listened to it again this morning. I went for a run down by the bay here in Melbourne, and there was a solo yacht washed up on the rocks, and the police divers were looking for the body. And I think that's possibly the most appropriate setting to listen to the song "I'm Not Okay," which really really hit me right in here. And I'm wondering, that song must come from a pretty full-on place for you, Gerard.
It comes from a very simple place. It's the simplest song we have, but it's one of these songs that never gets old, and we play it on stage, and we feel the same thing every time, I think, during that song. That's the one song that really doesn't change over time. It was written about high school. I don't even know why. It was written about, things you go through in high school. People just going through cries for attention, and it really fires us up on stage,
So what do you do? Where do you go when you're not okay?
Where do I go? I have a therapist, and we hang out and talk about Lord of the Rings. That's what happens, actually.
Just discuss the Middle Earth versus Mum and Dad.
Yeah, and Simon and Garfunkel, and then we'll talk about me a little bit, and then in the end, I feel better.
It's all good. That's good to know. But a lot of people, obviously, this song draws a lot of people to your band. You guys obviously have very, very passionate fans. So they obviously must just open up to you all of a sudden and go, oh, you got me through this, or you pulled me through that. You must hear some harrowing shit.
They do, and at first it was kind of like you felt like you had a big weight on you, and then you heard some things that were kind of maybe disturbing to you, and then you realized that, well, that's what you did. You opened yourself up to people that are going to open themselves up to you, so you get used to it, and you come to accept it, and, there's nothing more you can do really than be the band and the person you are, but you can't go beyond that,
Cool. What do you remember about making the video, Mike?
Man.
Yeah,
It was the first time we really actually played with Bob, was during that video.
Yeah, it's well,
Having your first performance captured on film, Bob, was it scary?
Kind of scary.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was like hour one of him being in the band.
Yeah, it was before we ever
Like,
played
hey,
a show with
shooting
Bob.
a video.
We're like, hey, just come to the video.
Well, let's have a look at it. My Chemical Romance. Not okay. What you want? Watching It's What You Want around Australia with My Chemical Romance, who are joining us on the show today. I've never met anyone who has their own action figures, so I'm very excited. Well, you know, Hawk, American Wasteland video game. How important are these different outlets? And also, like...
You do them actually because you want them. You don't do them because they're going to further your career, you know what I mean? You do it just because you like it. Like we're all fans of Tony Hawk. We actually are bigger fans of the Misfits, so the opportunity came to cover a Misfits song, and a lot of people would hear it. That's why we did it. Tony Hawk's a real awesome guy, though, and we're fans of the game. Something like action figures, same thing. We just wanted action figures, so it's not really to, like, get the name out there, just so we can have action figures when we're 60.
It's really just for us.
Yeah, this truly is.
Well, things to give to the grandkids.
Yeah,
well,
and our
yeah,
moms,
that's the thing.
like them and stuff.
Yeah, that way we don't have to go shopping really this Christmas.
Yep.
We just give them our toys.
Here's the gift of me. Here you go.
Is there any better gift to give?
Not at all.
Plastic me with a gun, a red gun.
Well, speaking of alternate outlets for your music, you guys consistently over the last year or so have been in the top 5 MySpace searches. You've got like 300 and something thousand MySpace friends. How has that affected the way your band's been perceived?
I don't know.
No clue.
We have no clue. Seriously.
But you're the first band to kind of have that, massive online support.
Yeah, the internet was a big thing for this band because when we started, like, we actually had a following with like 2 songs or something because we just had a demo up on the internet. There used to be this thing called mp3.com, and you would go there and we had a following. Like, you could find lyrics and kids would come to our show just from finding us there, and that's how people found out about the band. So the internet's actually been, a really big deal for this band, and I know MySpace has also been a big deal for the band.
It's an amazing thing in music where, kids can just really record a song in their basement, put it on the internet, and reach thousands of people. You don't need even an independent label to get your music out there anymore. You just put it up on the internet. It's
doing a better job than many marketing departments do of a lot of people's records, which is kind of interesting. Speaking of playing other people's records, we want to play your song, Mucky. You wanted some Gorillaz.
This one is Clint Eastwood, you said, right? That's the one. Oh, Dirty Harry.
But you've identified the,
Wrong action hero. Yeah, I mean.
Well, it's the same guy,
it's the same
but
guy.
just one's playing the other.
You're right.
I'm in different character. Yeah, so
All right, yeah.
I'm confused.
Why do you like?
Yeah, see?
the actor.
It's the actor.
I'm stupid. Anyway.
Why do you like Gorillaz?
Well, basically it's just Blur with a different name. So that's why I love it, because they don't make Blur albums very often. And then between Blur albums, you get Gorillaz albums. So.
Right on. Let's get it on. This is what you want. This is the Gorillaz. We almost had a table flipping moment there. I thought it was like another Notice by the Traveller Dead interview. It would have been very interesting. This is what you want around the country with the very, very tight. You all right, mate?
I'm excelente.
Splendid. You guys have provided some of the most refreshing videos that we've seen on the channel for quite a while, specifically the latest one, the Ghost of You video. From the start, how did that video come about?
We were making Helena, and I knew I could sucker Mark Webb into making a World War II movie. That's really what happened. I was sitting there, and we were making Helena, and I was thinking about ideas for Ghost because I knew it was going to be the 3rd single, and I didn't want to do something like haunted houses and ghosts and stuff because everybody would expect that. What they wouldn't expect is everybody to kind of chop off their hair and be soldiers in World War II. So Mark's an amazing director, and I knew he could actually switch styles completely and watch World War II movies and make it just like that, and that's exactly what he did, and he delivered us an amazing video. So I wrote this treatment, sent it to him. He sent me back a real treatment, which had new stuff in it, like Mikey getting shot and all that, and we shot it in 2 days. I don't even know how we made a video like that in 2 days, but we did.
What do you remember about making it?
Almost
shot?
Yeah, Jenny shot and almost dying. We had 80 pounds of gear on.
Yeah.
It's
pretty bad.
The other ironic part was you can only see the first 2 rows of people.
Yeah, that rope.
Yeah, where you can't even see us in that
No.
shot. Nope.
Almost died for
We
art.
almost died for a shot of other people.
Well, look, lesser people have died for love. But thanks for almost dying to make us this great video.
Hey.
Just play it. This is My Chemical Romance on What You Want. What You Want, we're hanging out with My Chemical Romance backstage at the Hi-Fi Bar in Melbourne. You guys, what are your impressions so far? You've been around the country for a little while.
It is gorgeous. It truly.
My dead body smell, I'm sorry.
No, we brought our own though. We have our own jar.
You could see into the ocean too. Like the water.
clear.
You
Yeah,
can
you can
see
see the water, and it's blue, like water in a picture.
there aren't
like
syringe
you draw when
needles.
you're a kid.
Mm-hmm.
It's fantastic. Everybody's been super nice, polite, awesome. You know, it's just a good vibe. You could tell right away when you get to the country there's a good vibe about it. This place is good.
Yesterday we were sitting outside at like this cafe. There are all these tables outside, and we're all eating. And people are just coming up, and like, usually you see a bunch of guys at a beach wearing black and smoking cigarettes. You wouldn't really talk to them, but there were like older ladies coming up, like, "Hi, how you guys doing?" Like, welcome, and it was really nice.
Complete strangers. Oh,
Anywhere around
and this was in Sydney or Melbourne or
this was in Sydney.
in Sydney.
Beach. Yeah.
It
What's
was
the
a
beach?
really nice place.
Show her the
What's
beach.
that place called?
Bronte.
You're at
Bronte?
Bronte.
Yeah.
Oh, it's around the corner from my house. There you
Oh,
go.
right on.
We went on a mini vacation.
A mini vacation.
How much does a house cost right there?
How much you pay for your house?
Well, look, you guys
Ooh,
are
wow.
talking.
What's
I pay in South Pacific pesos, which is the Australian dollar versus your dollar.
What's that? Just
So pretty much with your per diems, you can buy a house by the beach in Australia.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm not kidding. One for Mikey.
I'll have
We
one.
should play another song. You wanted some tattoo.
Ooh,
Why do you want tattoo?
It's a good ass band.
hooks.
Not even real, but
Nothing.
good album.
We're not afraid to
Nothing
admit
but
it.
hooks. Nothing
Yeah.
but hooks
A lot
and
of people
smashes.
won't
Just hooky. It's good.
For people who think you're talking about fishing, can you explain what a hook is?
Yeah, hook is like the part of the song where you're like, I gotta hear that song again for that one part that goes. And the whole record's actually full of hooks. Now it's good. It's just good. We're able to appreciate. We know it's completely like produced in the studio, but it's good songwriting. This video though is awesome because they're in a big semi in the snow in somewhere in Russia, running people over, and the truck's on fire. And
It'd be a Ramstein video.
it could. It's very similar to a Rammstein video, except
But
two
they
little
kiss.
Russian. They kiss.
Yo, they're fibbing.
Oh, I'm over it. No, that doesn't matter. They pretend, but that's okay. We'll still play them on
No
the
one
show.
likes a fibber.
This is Tattoo for you, Gerard.
Thanks, man.
Watching, it's been good to hang out with My Chemical Romance backstage here at the Hi-Fi Bar in Melbourne. You guys obviously you've got a very, very high energy show. Sometimes I'm guessing you stand on stage and go, crikey, this is getting a bit out of control. How do you feel, when you're on the mic and you see something going down in the crowd? How do you feel responsible?
Well, Warped Tour is actually the best example of that kind of thing happening. There was days on Warped Tour you walk out of there on stage with like the fear of God, you know what I mean? Just like, so and then after a week of that though, you weren't as scared anymore, and then you get used to it. You know what to look for. You see a whole bunch of people fall down. Get used to that, and after that, like anything's really manageable in a club or even in an arena. You can manage it. So.
But do you feel that responsibility weighs upon you or weighs upon?
Yeah, I mean, they're there to see you. Like, there's a lot of things that are out of their control, so you are responsible. Like, everything's just so awesome that you can't stop a song. Like, you need to get over yourself at a certain point and be like, all right, we can stop this song. We don't have to keep it going just because the show's going great. There's people that are getting trampled. So, Yeah, because it got to a point on Warp 2 where it started to become such a habit that you'd be 3 weeks in and then people would be trying to stop the show just to do it. You know what I mean? Like, oh, stop. And it's just like, a lot of people crying wolf out there. So you got to kind of really know, But it's scary. Like, you don't know if they're serious or not.
Well, good on you for taking that responsibility, because many bands don't. And it's go on, well, in a couple of hours. What's the pre-show ritual? What happens before the rock arrives? Bob?
Jumping jacks. 75 jumping jacks. We all do high fives.
Yep.
And
Prayer circle?
No prayer
No
circle.
prayer circle.
We got this lineup that our guy Matt Cortez figured out, that we kind of line up all the band guys and everyone else on this side, and we do kind of like, at the end of a soccer game, you high five everybody and then you loop around. So we all used to do it, just kind of high five, and it was a mess and you'd forget to high five certain people. So we've got it down to a science now. We do jumping jacks, and then everyone else has their own little routines that they do.
I just usually warm up for like a half hour. Play guitar. Limber up the fingers.
Yeah, I thought you were going to tell me a story about vomiting on stage.
That's never actually happened. But, like, just from the early days, you didn't get to eat a lot, so sometimes you'd be playing at, like, 5 in the afternoon or whatever, and you'd have to eat, and then you'd realize you couldn't even move. So you kind of learn that way, not to eat, like, 3 hours before you play.
Lethargic up there.
Well, I'm sure you won't be tonight, guys. Thank you for your time. I know you're tired as. You probably want a bit of a rest, but really appreciate it. Thanks for coming down. Don't be long before you come back on a proper tour, will you?
Yeah, we'll probably be back next year.
Mm-hmm.
Sick.
Be good.
Don't forget, for your per diems, you can own a house by the beach in
All right.
Australia. Like that.